We can give them the tools and we can give them the best training in the world, but the bottom line is it boils down to that individual's vision, focus, and ability to motivate themselves to get where they want to be.
Okay. I just remember some of the courses I've been on for training for IT and stuff in the past, and you just think, no, it's never going to happen.
Look, I mean, that's a valid point, but you must realise that people are investing a lot of money into these courses.
Mm-hmm.
So they've thought long and hard about whether they want to do it or not. And, I must say we've been very, very fortunate that, people on our courses really want to be there. They really want to be butlers. They really want jobs. I might just add as well that after they get the training with us, they then go on to the Ritz London, which is one of the finest hotels in the world, and they get work experience.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's that old adage where you've got your qualification, you knock on recruitment doors, and they say, but you've got no experience. So what we try and do, or not what we try and do, what we are doing is then they go onto the Ritz London, and that goes onto their CV straight away. So they're getting practical experience, which is invaluable.
Yeah, so the work experience is great. From the courses I've done before, I've changed careers. I've just got a little bit of paper, and they just say they've got no experience. So that's good to hear.
It is. I mean, we are passionate about getting people jobs because some of the people coming onto these courses are sent by their households, and that's fine. But there are other people that come on these courses, changing their lives. They want jobs. So through our recruitment division or through the Ritz London, they're able to find a vehicle to get these jobs.
How can we find out more about the British Butler Institute?
That's fairly straightforward. We're in a very fortunate position that through the internet, on our website, which is a very long, wonderful web address, www.britishbutlerinstitute.com. There are many articles in various publications from around the world, as well as YouTube clips from CNN and the likes. We've had some great exposure and coverage in China, Japan, Shanghai, America, and obviously the UK. So if you type in the British Butler Institute into Google or any of the search engines, you're very, very sure to find us.
Okay, that's great. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure, thank you.
Seklo Sounds is based at the Old Rectory, the home of our studio partner Interaction MK. They've been bringing arts to life in Milton Keynes for over 35 years. They use the arts to improve the life chances of disabled people and others in challenging circumstances through shared creative activity. These programs help participants to develop creative, personal and social skills. You can visit them at www.interactionmk.org.uk.
I'm Colin Price, and when I'm not touring the globe with some of the biggest names in rock, you can join me every Friday at 8 p.m. for Roadie Rocks. I'll be raiding the vaults for the very best in classic rock, bringing you stories from the road and joined by some very special guests. So join me, Colin Price, live from the Shed of Rock every Friday at 8 p.m. for Roadie Rocks, only on Seklo Sounds. Guaranteed no Bon Jovi.
Keep up to date with travel news by liking my page, facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. And now, travel news. Monarch has imposed lifetime bans on 6 passengers after there was a flight disturbance, which meant that a flight had to be diverted. Flight ZB908 from Birmingham to Dalaman in Turkey was diverted to Sofia Airport in Bulgaria, where the 6 disruptive passengers were met by police and removed from the plane. The flight then continued to Dalaman, arriving 1 hour and 45 minutes later than scheduled. Monarch apologised to the other 131 passengers on board, and the spokesperson said that Monarch operates a zero-tolerance policy to disruptive behaviour on board to ensure the safety and security of our customers and crew. As a result of their behaviour and failure to comply with the requests of the crew and the captain, Monarch have issued these 6 passengers with a lifetime ban. There's not only the ban for Monarch, it could be very difficult to get into another airline when you've been kicked off like that. Have you ever been on a flight where somebody's got a bit disruptive and you've had to be diverted? Luckily, I haven't yet. But if you have, how did it go? What was the experience like? Let us know. Facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. This story's been everywhere, but just in case you haven't heard it, a student has changed his name to avoid paying Ryanair's booking amendment fee. Back when I was a travel agent, I made a mistake on 2 tickets. I got the first and second name the wrong way round. I blame the website, because on the website it's always one way until you booked this particular holiday and they switched it. But I should have been paying attention. But anyway, it cost me £750 to put right. I didn't get much profit from that holiday or the next 3 because of that, but never mind. A student booked on a Ryanair flight under the wrong name decided to change his name by deed poll and buy a new passport because that was cheaper than paying the booking amendment fee that Ryanair wanted to charge. Alan Armstrong, who was 19, told the Sun newspaper he faced a £220 charge to change the booking, which had been mistakenly made by his girlfriend's stepfather under the wrong name. But he found it was actually cheaper for him to change his name by deed poll and pay £103 for a new passport than to pay the Ryanair's fee. Armstrong, who is a Batman fan, had used the name Adam West on Facebook after the actor who played Batman on television, and his girlfriend's stepdad saw the name and thought that was his proper name. Ryanair was going to charge £110 to change the name, and the passenger believed he was going to have to pay it twice because his girlfriend was on the same booking. But actually, they're on separate bookings, so it's only going to cost him £110, so he didn't actually save that much money, did he? But Ryanair said the charge is designed to stop people from buying flights and then selling them on for a profit. A spokesperson said customers are asked to ensure that the details they enter at the time of booking are correct before completing their booking, and they do offer a 24-hour grace period to correct minor booking errors, apparently. And they went on to say that a name change fee is charged in order to discourage and prevent unauthorised online travel agents from screen scraping Ryanair's cheapest fares and reselling them on to unwitting consumers at hugely inflated costs. I'm meant to be impartial here, but every airline charges a fee to change the name because they're all preventing companies coming in, booking all the cheap prices, holding on to them and then releasing them when they can't sell them at the end. So it's not just Ryanair, but to say that it's unauthorised online travel screen scraping, I think it's just another dig at the fact that they're trying to prevent travel companies from selling Ryanair flights, which they're saying is bad for the consumer. But when I was a travel agent and selling Ryanair flights, I offered more consumer protection than Ryanair did, so how can that be bad for the passenger? Anyway, I'm wobbling on about this. What about you? Have you had to pay a fee to change the name because a mistake was made? Did you have to pay as much as I did, £750 for 2 passengers? Or was it a lot less? Did the airline do it for free? Let us know your experiences at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. Now, I'm sure this story doesn't apply to you, my dear listener, but you may know somebody who it might, so you can pass it on. Magaluf is coming up with some antisocial behaviour regulations to help make the resort more family friendly, I guess. There's a ban on drinking alcohol in the streets after 10 p.m, and that's just part of the clampdown on the loudest behaviour that's been imposed in Magaluf ahead of the peak summer season. These regulations, which come in force on the 9th of June, have been approved after consultation with the Spanish and Balearic governments and local businesses. There's new rules on pub crawls, a ban on shops selling alcohol between midnight and 8 a.m, increased use of CCTV surveillance, and an extra 36 police will be deployed on the streets during the summer peak. There are going to be fines of between €750 and €3,000, which are going to be imposed on anybody involved in antisocial behaviour, which is including balconing and urinating in public or being naked in the street. In addition, the new rules on the pub crawls include organising companies will be limited to 1 crawl per day between 8 and midnight. There can be a maximum of 20 people per pub crawl. Participants must be escorted by both a member of the company and an accredited security staff member. Pub crawl staff must have first aid training. Pub crawl promotions must be authorised 7 days in advance, and everybody who takes part in a pub crawl must be over 18 years old, wear special identification clothes, and provide a contact person in case of emergency. A spokesperson for the Spanish tourism organisation said the Spanish government strongly supports the new regulations passed by the Calvia Council. They will foster a new framework in which all international tourists can fully enjoy their holidays in Spain in a manner that is responsible for both themselves and the destination. So, are you one of these people who get drunk and behave really, really badly when you go away on holiday? I don't want to know on facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. But have you had a holiday ruined by people acting that way? Would you like to see these regulations stuck all over holiday destinations around the world to stop the sort of horrible, loutish, threatening and stupidity behaviour that sometimes mars people's holidays? Let me know your thoughts. facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. Now, another story which will please my wife no end. Not. London has been rated as the world's most popular travel destination ahead of Bangkok, Paris, Dubai and Istanbul. Apparently, London will attract 18.82 million international overnight visitors who will spend a total of £13.3 billion in 2015. The annual MasterCard Global Destination City Index puts London in top place for a fifth time in 7 years, while New York drops out of the top 5 with only 12.27 million visitors. The top 10 also includes Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, Seoul, Hong Kong, and Hong Kong has 8.66 million arrivals, according to this. The index ranks 132 of the most visited cities around the world, and according to the MasterCard Cities Index, international travellers will make 382.9 million visits by air to the top cities, and collectively they will spend a massive £236 billion. The number of people travelling overseas and their cross-border spending has risen faster than the global GDP since 2009, the study has found. And this comes despite the weak and uneven global economic recovery in the aftermath of the 2008 global economic crisis. Now, if you're a regular listener, you know my wife works in London. She hates people visiting because they just get in her way. So she'll be overjoyed about this. But the report underlines London's dominance as a global hub for international business and tourism, and also as a gateway to the rest of the country, which is demonstrated by the hosting of the 2015 Rugby World Cup. It goes on to say that increased airport capacity is vital for stimulating such growth, which can boost cities' local economies, jobs and business opportunities. MasterCard President of International Markets, Anne Khan, said, "This year's study helps us to understand just how interconnected the world's cities are and the significant role they play in connecting and empowering greater numbers of people than ever before." And of course, London Mayor Boris Johnson got in on it, and he said, "I'm delighted that London has proudly held on to this coveted title as we celebrate another triumphant and record-breaking year for tourism in the city." What about you? Do you work in London like my wife? Do you get fed up with all the tourists? Or do you make money from the tourists? Let me know. Facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. Well, that's the end of the show. Please do join me next time on the John Guinn Travel Show on seclosounds.org, where each week I'm checking it out before you check in.
MK Pulse proudly sponsors Seklo Sounds. MK Pulse is Milton Keynes' local magazine, bringing helpful information on food, health, fashion, money, travel, culture and much more to 84,000 people every month. Plus news, views and what's on from around the city. If it's happening in Milton Keynes, it's in MK Pulse and it's available online at www.mkpulse.co.uk. MK Pulse and Seklo Sounds, the heart and soul of the city.